It's fine. We can have Chelsea.
Oh my god, bro. No, you can't have me. Fuck.
Okay. So what
Am I
topic?
lagging? Hello?
No, you're perfectly fine.
Okay, I'm done. Yeah, what position are you taking?
Philosophy of mind. Hello?
Yup.
Yeah, on what? On what
I
topic?
said, lost my mind. I said yes.
Okay, yeah, I didn't hear you say yes. I can take a dualist
I
position.
said yup. You literally responded to me saying yup.
No,
What
I said,
position do you
I said I can take a dualist position.
take? Okay, let me announce. Me
Shouldn't
versus
record, by the
C.
way.
Me versus C. Discord.com. Okay, so what type of dualism are you taking?
I can take, like, I don't know, substance dualism or property dualism. Either one is fine.
Yeah, I don't care about what you can take. I'm asking what you are taking.
I can take either one of the two, right? I'm just taking the rejection of
Yeah, I'm
physicalism.
fine, but which one do you want to take?
Like, just the rejection of physicalism is my position. I don't have to take a specific stance.
Okay, so what's the argument for the rejection of physicalism? Go ahead.
Yeah, so we can solve, like, I don't know, identity theory. You know what identity theory is, correct?
Continue. What's your argument?
Okay, do you know what physical means?
What's your argument?
Yeah, obviously the argument requires definition of physical. So just,
Or you could just lay out the argument premise by premise, and if it includes a word that I don't have an understanding of what you mean by, then I can ask for clarification.
Okay, a thing is physical if and only if it can be described by the laws of physics. The mind cannot be fully described by the laws of physics. The mind is not physical.
But hold on. So, by the laws of physics, are you saying what we've come to know so far about the physical world or physical phenomena, or do you believe that if something is undetermined in virtue of the laws of physics, then it would still be something that is non-physical?
When I say describable by laws of physics, I mean we can make a framework or some sort of explanatory model that can describe it fully.
Yeah. So what if we just have? Yeah. What if we just have epistemic limitations?
Yeah, I mean we can, as long as you grant that the epistemology currently is not in favor of your position. That's completely fine.
And I'm saying that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm saying, what if it follows that me and you have epistemic limitations, not scientists? Like, for example, you give an argument, I don't have any knowledge to respond to the argument. So, independent of this debate, there is some type of law that I can bring up that does justify my position and gives a framework for that what we're talking about. However, in respect to the debate, due to my lack of knowledge, as a response to your argument, I can't say any framework that would actually hold it.
Yeah, I can do the same thing for my position, right? The fact of the
That's
matter is
fine.
that
But I'm
you don't
talking
have.
about the current
Look,
claims you just made.
just keep in mind. The fact of the matter is that, look, if you do not present the framework, then within this debate you've lost, right? That's the whole
No,
point.
that's not
Whether
true.
there does
So look,
exist,
your
just
argument
calm
is
down.
talking
Whether there
about
does exist, just
your
calm down.
argument.
Whether there
Your
does exist,
argument.
calm down. Whether
Your
there just
argument
calm down. Just
requires
calm
there
down.
being a
Whether there
lack
does
of framework,
exist,
idiot.
just calm down. Whether there does
So
exist,
just to be clear, your
just
argument
calm down.
requires there being a lack of frameworks for it to not be non-physical or for it to be non-physical.
In order
However,
for you
if
to
I hold on, chill. If I don't present a framework, that doesn't mean that there's a lack of a framework. Therefore, your argument isn't justified. However, that just means that I can't present a framework to explain or describe some physical phenomena within reality. So all it does is presuppose that due to me not having any knowledge of a framework that exists independent of this debate, that entails that your argument is true. That's not how that works. That's just arguing from your own ignorance, retard.
Yeah, it just means that you haven't fulfilled your burden of rejoinder. That's completely
Yeah,
fine.
I'm not fulfilling my one that has nothing to do with a burden of rejoinder. Secondly, I have no burden of proof on me currently. We're talking about your argument.
Yeah, so just to be clear, the burden of proof and
I
the
don't
burden of
care about you
rejoinder are
trying to be
different.
clear. Can you just
The
get a
burden of
point?
rejoinder, just keep in mind, the burden of rejoinder is the necessity or the obligation for the opposition to respond to the argument at hand.
Yes,
So
but
you
I'm
responding,
responding to your
so just calm
argument. Yeah,
down,
but the
just calm
argument,
down, look,
yeah,
just
but the
breathe, just
argument at
breathe.
hand
So you
isn't correlated to a
responding,
burden I
just calm
have.
down. So you responding by saying, look, it's possible that there exists this sort of framework out there. It's completely fine. It's just not within epistemic access. We have no reason to believe in it.
Okay, so look, we have no reason to believe yours if our epistemic limitations is what is holding us back currently. So if we have an epistemic limitation towards your argument, which is the following: something is physical if and only if it can be explained by a law of physics. If it is the case that we don't have all knowledge on every single laws of physics, you cannot use that argument to actually justify your rejection towards physicalism. What that does is give you a reason to believe physicalism is likely not true, or give you a reason to believe some type of skeptic position towards physicalism. That's not the same as saying the rejection towards physicalism is true due to a lack of frameworks when it comes to describing and some physical phenomena. That's called an argument from ignorance, retard. I don't need to propose a framework in which describes all physical phenomena because I might have a lack of knowledge on topics such as physics, which I do. So you saying I have a burden of rejoinder, is my burden to respond to your argument in a specific amount of time. There's no specific amount of time and there's no burden to respond to your argument other than what I've already done so far. I'm questioning whether or not your argument is actually non-fallacious.
Yeah, so just to be clear, I can reject something in regards to the evidence not supporting the position, right? So if it was the case of physically,
Yeah, you can. That's fine. Whether or not it's fallacious is a different topic.
Just calm down. If it were
I'm
the
very
case that
calm. I'm not
physicalism,
screaming or
yeah,
anything.
just stop. So like, if it were the
No.
case that physicalism were true, okay, look, if it were the case that physicalism were true, then it would be the case that we would be able to describe the mind.
Wait, no, that's not true. So wait, that's not true. By the way, so when we talk about,
look,
hold on. So there's a
we have
difference.
moderation. Is that possible?
Stop steamrolling.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. But there's a difference. Yeah. So wait, look, the terminology you're using doesn't follow. There's a difference when you say. There's a difference when you say we describe and when you say the laws describe.
Let him
In terms of describe the mind in terms of naturalistic processes, but right now, we cannot do that. The evidence, therefore, goes against physicalism because it's something that is expected under hypotheses but does not actually align with our current epistemology. Therefore, I can reject it on behalf of the evidence not being in alignment with your position. That's perfectly fucking coherent. So, look, what I want you to do is, I want you to give me a reason why
Yo, calm down, buddy. Yeah, so there's two things. One, yeah, listen, you told me not to cut you off, and I didn't cut you off, so listen. So one, when you say we can't describe it and when you say the laws can't describe it, those are two different things. You switched your initial claim from the laws can't describe it, therefore it is a non-physical, to we can't describe it, therefore it is a non-physical. A lack of description from a human when we have epistemic limitations, once again, is you appealing to your ignorance. If you were to say from that lack of description, it follows that the opposition of that conclusion is correct, which is the rejection of physicalism. So when it comes to us describing these physical phenomena, that isn't what physicalism asserts. It doesn't say all humans are able to describe each phenomena within reality and reduce it to some type of physical process. That's not what physicalism asserts at all. Most types of physicalism assert the following. Everything within reality can reduce to some type of physical matter or physical process. That's what physicalism asserts. It has nothing to do with us being able to describe it. It has nothing to do with our epistemic limitations. So I don't want you to come here and present a shitty ass argument for ignorance, which is, oh, well, if something is physical, if and only if we can describe it or the laws of physics are able to describe it. You switch the claim. Go back to the initial claim because the initial claim is actually fine. I agree, something is physical if and only if it is explained by the laws of physics. However, whether or not we are able to use the laws of physics to describe something being physical is different because me and you might have a lack of knowledge on something within physics that describes a physical phenomenon within reality. So when you're talking about me, there's no burden on me currently. I'm just being skeptic towards your position, which is a rejection towards physicalism. I want you to give justification towards that rejection. I don't have any burden to justify physicalism, the same as I do not have the adequate knowledge, as you also don't have the adequate knowledge to give each law and then explain how that law is able to reduce each phenomena to a physical process.
Yeah, so look, just to be clear, I'm happy that you granted they have this epistemic limitation. Let me just educate you on some reasons why. Look, just calm down. Let me just educate you on some reasons why we cannot reduce everything, which in this context would be quality of the mind, to a physical thing, right? So typically speaking, when we're looking at physical things, they have certain properties such as accessibility, right? They're public. We can measure things that are physical. They have extension. When we look at the mind, phenomenologically speaking, the mind does not have extension, right?
Yeah, what's the argument for that?
Yeah, it's based on phenomenological analysis.
Yeah, so wait, one, how do you define the mind? And then secondly, I don't think that's true.
Yeah, so I'll just define the mind as like the combination of mental processes. But look, I don't have to say that.
What's a mental process? What's a mental process? What's a mental process?
Calm down, just calm down. I can say some sort of like neurological.
I'm asking you what a mental process is. I'm gonna let you finish after.
I've seen
a mental process would just be something conducted by the mind.
Yo, can you hold on? Wait, before you continue, let me mute this nigga. Who is that random ass nigga who keeps dick sucking? Anyways, would you define the mental process?
Mental process can just be anything that's conducted by the mind. So thoughts, memories, perceptive experiences.
Yeah, so do you believe, hold on, so what's the argument as to why we can't measure these things?
Yeah, no, it's not that we cannot measure these things, right? As in it's impossible. Hold on, just calm down. As in it's impossible.
I literally didn't speak.
Actually, hold on a second. So I'm not saying that we cannot measure these things as in it's impossible, right? I'm saying that based on our current epistemology, right, it would seem as if one of the inherent things about qualia is that it is first person.
Okay, so why? Yeah, but hold on. You're causing a rejection towards physicalism. Why does our lack of core measurement, due to our epistemic limitations currently, actually entail your conclusion? You're not saying it's likely that physicalism is false. You're not saying you're skeptic towards physicalism. You're saying you hold a strong rejection towards physicalism. So our epistemic limitations doesn't give us any methodology towards actually measuring these phenomena within our mental states. However, does that actually justify the rejection of physicalism? No, it doesn't. Even though I don't grant that we have a lack of methods in which allows us to measure the things within our mental states. I don't grant that at all. But even if I were to grant it, that doesn't justify it at all. It doesn't give me any motivation to believe in the rejection towards physicalism.
Yeah, look, okay, just calm down. So once again, I hate repeating myself. I'm saying that just calm down. When I opened the page, I said that I'm taking the position that I reject all forms of physicalism. Now, in order to reject something, all I need is some sort of reason to believe in the contrary that's greater than the reason.
Yeah, that's fine, but whether or not you're contrary, I agree. But to justify that rejection, you have to give logical motivation towards it being true.
Just stop over talking me. So as I was saying, right?
Yes. So the topic isn't whether or not you reject it, idiot.
All I need in order to reject.
You're getting drowned by someone. Someone's opening a door or something. I don't know who it is. Can y'all please reach your mic? Can you please stop talking? See, I'm trying to confirm something. Can y'all please reach your mic? I don't know who that is. And secondly, the topic isn't whether or not you reject.
I don't care. Let me finish.
The topic is whether or not you have logical. The topic is whether or not you can demonstrate logical motivation towards me believing in your rejection.
Let me finish.
No.
Once again, right? I'm just gonna make this very clear to you. In order to reject something, all I need, bro, I'm gonna stipulate.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Wait, Sarugi, mute your mic.
Yeah, so look, just to be clear here, I'm just gonna
Sarugi, mute your mic. Sarugi, mute your mic.
Yeah, so just to be clear here, right, I'm just gonna stipulate that in order to reject something, all I need is greater reason to believe in the contrary rather than the affirmation. Now,
that's not true.
Anyway, just okay. You can give me some other criteria necessary.
Yeah. You can reject something without having any reason. You can reject something you can reject something while having a weaker reason than the contrary.
Oh my God! So once again, that's
yes. So you can have faith for God. The faith might not be stronger than the evidence against God, but you're still believing in God.
Okay, so like once again, okay. No. That's what I'm going to stipulate. Whether there's some additional compatible frameworks I can also coexist with that, it's completely fine. But I'm just going to stipulate that in order for me to reject something, right, I can reject something on the basis that there is greater reason to believe in the contrary rather than the affirmation. Okay? Now, I've presented many reasons that would be reasons for as to why we should reject physicalism, and all you've said is, well, it's possible that, I don't know, maybe in the near future there exists some sort of framework or something like that. Like, I can grant everything you've just said. Right, these things are in fact possible, but epistemically they aren't what we see. They aren't what we expect, and therefore, if they aren't what we see nor what we expect, we have greater reason to reject this hypothesis because lots of these expectations do not obtain.
Ming chill. So there's multiple things. One, wait, Ming chill. You're a chill. Anyways, when you're talking about epistemic reasons, I grant that you can have a reason, but the topic isn't whether or not you reject physicalism. It isn't whether or not you reject all types of physicalisms. It's whether or not you have logical motivation that you can demonstrate to me to get me motivated to believe in your rejection towards physicalism. We're not debating whether or not you have a belief. I agree you can have a retarded belief. A lot of people have retarded beliefs. Like, for example, Recruiter thinks he's a good debater. That's a retarded belief because it's clearly wrong. You have a belief which is correlated towards a rejection towards physicalism, which is clearly wrong. We agree you can have retarded beliefs. Now, do you have a demonstration that can get me motivated to believe in that retarded belief? The answer is no, you've yet to give it because you don't even know what your goal is currently. Now, just because it is possible due to our epistemic limitations doesn't mean that within this instance you also have a reason to believe in the contrary. Yes, we have epistemic limitations. Yes, I'm saying it's possible within the future we might get a method in which we can use to measure these mental states. However, us having a lack of a method, does that mean that you have a good reason to believe in non-physicalism? Does that mean you have a good reason to believe in the rejection of physicalism? No, it doesn't. Yeah, official chill.
Yeah.
So I wasn't done, by the way. Okay, you can stop. I was reading official. Anyways. Yeah, so our current epistemic limitations does not allow us to measure mental states. Is that a reason that is valid when it comes to saying you believe in the rejection of physicalism? No. What's the argument as to why that's a valid reason for believing in the opposite instead of it being a valid reason as to why you doubt physicalism? You doubting physicalism and you saying it's incorrect due to our epistemic limitations. And like I said, I don't even grant that we have epistemic limitations. What's the argument? You have yet to give one. You keep on presupposing that there is not a method in which we can use to measure these mental states, like for example, memories, thoughts, etc. What you're doing is presupposing this to make your position look more clear and better, yet to justify it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so look, I'll just respond to two things. I'll try to keep this clear and concise. The first thing I'm going to respond to is this whole point about epistemic limitations. Look, the reason why things are expecting our hypotheses not aligning with our current epistemic access is reason to not believe in hypotheses is simple, and I'll give you an analogy to make this clearer. If I posit to you right here, right now, if I postulate that there exists ghosts, right, and you say, well, no, there doesn't exist ghosts, because if there were ghosts, we'd probably be able to see these ghosts and interact with these ghosts and blah, blah, blah. Just stop talking, okay?
I disagree.
And then you say, well, look, I grant to you here now and that we can't interact with the ghosts, right? But it might just be the case that we don't have the epistemic access to, we don't have the technology. Maybe in a few years' time, it'll be possible to now see these ghosts. Sure, right? You can avoid every single fucking contention I present by saying in the near future, it's possible that ... That's perfectly fucking fine. However, right now, because we're talking about the here and now, not your wishful thinking, right fucking now, it is the case that there's no...
So I'm going to go ahead and give Infinity Judgment on this point. Can you tell me why you...
Look, he's so retarded. Look, see, okay, look. That doesn't follow because we have a valid reason to not believe in ghosts.
Such that identity theory is false. For example, physical states and physical things seem to have qualities inductively.
Okay, let me...
For example...
Okay, maybe you're a little retarded. When you tell me that ghosts exist, and I can't verify it due to my current epistemic limitations, it makes sense as to why I can't verify it. Does that mean due to my epistemic limitations I'm going to believe in the contrary? No. The reason why I'm not able to justify to my knowledge that ghosts exist is because I justify things a posteriori, in which a ghost does not exist in that a posteriori framework, because we cannot feel non-physical things hypothetically in a world. If we were to define a ghost as a non-physical entity, then I would say we can only perceive of as in interact with our senses physical things. So if something is non-physical, we're not able to grasp that non-physical entity with our senses, and I gain knowledge a posteriori within this instant. Now, if all knowledge is gained a posteriori and we can only perceive things as in use the five senses towards physical things, if a ghost fits the criteria of a non-physical thing, I'm not able to have an epistemic access to that ghost. Does that give me motivation to believe that ghost doesn't exist? No. Why? Because I have a reason as to why I don't know that ghost exists. Because I'm limited to my five senses. Now, due to that reason, I would say, well, I'm skeptical towards ghosts existing because... Wait, hold on. I'm skeptical towards ghosts existing because my only way to verify a thing is through the five senses, and I've come to a logical conclusion that I can only verify things with my five senses that are physical. There you go, retard. If something is non-physical, you cannot interact with it or grasp it with your five senses. Therefore, you have logical motivation towards the reason or conclusion that you're not able to perceive ghosts. That does not give you logical motivation to not believe in ghosts, because why? You have an explanation as to why you can't perceive or have knowledge of ghosts, because your knowledge is gained a posteriori. Retard. Basic. So, I don't grant that epistemic limitations give you some type of argument or motivation towards the contrary. Nobody competent agrees. That's called an argument for ignorance. Basic 101.
Yeah, we're not ignorant over here.
And keep in mind, you keep on presupposing, because like I said, you keep on presupposing that we have an epistemic limitation towards methods of measuring in the first place. That's already what's in question. Tissue, flames victim. Give a point. I hope you know, emphasizing shitty points doesn't make your point better and doesn't make you seem more rhetorical, retard.
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
I think good shit muting me, by the way. But like, I'll just respond to that. So obviously, if you define ghosts as the type of thing that we cannot gain knowledge on with senses, obviously then what I just said to you doesn't make sense. But look, if I define a ghost as this sort of I don't know, incorporeal, intangible sort of being, right? Sort of species, for example, and I say, well, look,
yes, correct. It's intangible.
Stop talking. Why'd you keep over talking me? Right? Just calm down.
The reason why I keep over talking you, let me answer that question. Don't ask me a question. Don't ask me a question to come here. Yes, correct. Let me answer that question. The reason why you just asked me a question. You just asked me a question.
You just asked me a question. Just let me finish what I was saying, okay? Let me finish what I was saying, okay? Just let me finish what I was saying, okay? Just let me finish what I was saying, okay? Just let me finish what I was saying. So I'm just going to continue. That's what I was saying.
Okay, anyway, the reason why I keep over talking you is because you keep saying
and this sort of opaque, translucent sort of species that exists. And I say, well, look, this species does exist. And I say, well, look, if this species were to exist, we would see, or we would expect to see X, Y, and Z. But we don't expect to see X, Y, and Z. This doesn't happen. Therefore, we have greater reason to not believe in hypotheses. That is perfectly fucking valid. Okay, these types of arguments are used all the time. Okay, it's not an argument of ignorance. I'm just saying right now we should not believe in things that have literally no evidence for them obtaining, but have good evidence for them not obtaining. I.e., the things that are expected under hypotheses are not actually apparent in our epistemology. And to give you the evidence I've been trying to give you now, it's pretty simple.
No. Let's stay on this point. We can stay on this point.
Okay, cool, perfectly fine.
No, okay, so on this.
Okay, yeah. So one, are you stupid? Wait, chill. So are you dumb? You can give a clear definition, then say, well, if this thing exists, we expect to see X, Y, and Z. However, X, Y, and Z can contradict your definition. The reason why it contradicts your definition is because we cannot interact with anything correlated to a non-physical entity, because a non-physical entity cannot interact with physical phenomena. If we exist in a natural physical world, while a ghost exists outside natural physical world, and we gain all knowledge a posteriori, we cannot interact with non-physical things naturally through our five senses, and that's how we gain knowledge. Then it's completely fine if we have motivation towards believing or having a reason as to why we're not able to grasp the concept of a ghost. Now, does that give me motivation for not believing ghosts exist? No, it doesn't, because I have a clear reason as to why ghosts exist, retard. I have a reason to doubt ghosts existing, because all my a posteriori, and there's some random concept that I'm not able to grasp via this a posteriori knowledge. Is there some random concept that I'm not able to grasp via my five senses? That seems unlikely. Maybe it doesn't exist. Wow, that's why it could be. It exists. Now, you being strong, holding the position strongly that this goes in, because you don't have a posteriori knowledge of it, is completely retarded. So yes, you say a ghost is X, Y, and Z. It's non-physical. If a ghost is non-physical and it exists, then we should expect to see Y phenomena. However, seeing Y phenomena will contradict the definition that you gave of a ghost. Obviously, that's just a contradiction. It doesn't matter. Another thing is, we were talking about these arguments being okay. People commit fallacious arguments all the time. That's completely fine. That's all you said. You saying that these arguments are repetitive and proposed all the time is just you, in other words, saying, I'll translate for the low tiers. Argument for ignorance are committed by shitty low tiers like me, see all the time. I don't give a fuck about what you commit multiple times. I agree, all your arguments are terrible. Most of your arguments are fallacious. Most of your arguments aren't valid. Most of your arguments are not sound. I agree with that, boy. Another thing is, yes, we can have, anyways, yes, we can have faith towards things. That is correct. Faith can be motivation. You don't have to have a reason. You could just have faith.
It's just
go ahead.
Okay, is that so? Like, once again, just try to respond this time.
Wait. When you say once again, do you mean you're gonna repeat yourself? I don't mean to cut you off. I'm just asking. Once again, are you repeating yourself?
Part of this response is going to be a repetition. Yeah.
Wait, so are you not getting what you said it the first time? So you want to repeat yourself?
No.
You want to conclude?
No. So I just want to drill it into your skull a bit more. Like,
I don't really care about that. Do you want to conclude?
No, because I said part of the response is going to be a repetition.
So when else you want to repeat yourself, then add something.
No. So part of it's going to be a repetition, and the rest is going to be a response to the.
And then the rest is going to be elaboration because you didn't say what I said the first time, and you were not confident. Okay, yeah, that's
okay. That's perfectly fine. So you can.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said
just in response. I know calm down. So look, in response, I already told you that if you define, I don't know why you're still talking, but look, I already told you that if we define,
the reason I'm still talking because you're not saying anything.
Okay, so look, if we define ghosts as the type of thing that we cannot gain knowledge on a posteriori, that's perfectly fine. That's not what I'm. Just calm down. That's not what I'm doing. So I already gave the definition of ghost that I'm using. And just calm down. The definition of ghost that I'm using is simply this intangible, right? Sort of translucent.
What do you mean by intangible? By intangible, do you mean? I'm gonna let you finish.
Cannot be touched.
Okay, but can it be seen? Can it be seen?
Yeah, it can be seen.
Okay, can it be heard?
Yes, it can be heard.
Okay, then yeah, we're able to gain knowledge on it. Then that's fine.
Yeah, perfectly fine. And I tell you that I'm positing that these things exist. And keep in mind, I then respond by saying, well, someone else responds by saying, well, look, if this thing were to exist, then we would expect to see X, Y, and Z. This is expected under your hypothesis.
Yeah, what's X, Y, and Z?
Hold on a second. Look, it's okay. Look, I know you want to understand the argument. Just don't cut me off in a mid-sentence.
No, I understand the argument already. I'm just yeah, he's so stupid. He says zesty and Z. Like, he's retarded.
Look, just calm down, okay? So once again, I think look, just calm down. As I was saying, can you please moderate? Hold on. So, look, if we expect to see, if we expect to see certain things under hypotheses, and these things are not seen, then that gives us reason to doubt the hypotheses. The same way, I'm not saying absence of evidence is evidence of absence, but I'm saying the absence of expected evidence gives us reason to reject the fucking hypothesis. That's two different propositions. Once again, just track, please. Now, the response is going to be the new response that I've been trying to give. Calm down. The new response. Just calm down. The new response I've been trying to give. Look, just calm down. The new response I've been trying to give. Right, for the last time,
no, don't give a new response. We can stay on this point. 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 We can stay on this point.
Drop the request for evidence, and we can stay on this point.
No, we're gonna stay on this point. We're gonna go to that after. If you can't track, that's your fault. You shouldn't have to burn the point. Anyway, so in response to this new claim, wait, chill. In response to this new claim, if someone gives a, can you shut up? Chill, sweat. My bad. But if someone gives a clear definition towards a ghost, and then they say, from this definition, we should expect to see X, Y, and Z phenomena, they can just be wrong. That's fine. Now, if the person believes them and they don't experience X, Y, and Z phenomena, then they can just have an incorrect reason, an incorrect motivation to believe that ghosts do not exist because they have not witnessed this X, Y, and Z phenomena. If it's consistent that a person doesn't lie to other dude, for example, and then he comes up with this thesis, if ghosts exist definitionally under X, Y, and Z concept, then we should expect a phenomena to occur. If a phenomenon doesn't occur, due to the consistency of that person not lying, the person can believe in the concept of ghosts producing this phenomena. However, this phenomena does not occur. Therefore, we can say that.
You're cutting out, by the way. You cut
out lied from someone who consistently tells the truth. A lot of reason.
You cut out.
Yeah, hold on.
You cut out about therefore. That's when you cut out.
Can y'all please mute him?
You're cutting out.
So that's not using. Huh? Hello? Do you hear me? Yeah, I know. Am I still unheard? Hello?
No, we can hear you. Just start again from therefore. That's when you cut out. Therefore.
Okay, yeah, I'm asking what point. No, what did I say before that?
You said therefore.
I don't know who laughed like that. What did I say before that, retard? Listen.
How much time did you say therefore in the sentence? I don't know. I wasn't listening because what you're saying is irrelevant.
Anyways, if what I'm saying is irrelevant, we can conclude after this bet. Alright, anyways, back to what I was saying. If someone's consistently telling you the truth and they gives you this thesis, if why a ghost exists definitionally under a specific concept, then you see X phenomena. Now, if you don't see X phenomena, due to the consistency of that person telling the truth, you're willing to believe that since you have a lack of that phenomena, witnessing that phenomena specifically, then the ghost doesn't exist. You just have an incorrect motivation. It does not at all entail that using a lack of motivation is true. Now, when you're talking about having a reason to doubt another thing, expectancy is not a good reason. That's the point of contention. You repeating it's a good reason is what's in question, retard. You have to give an argument. I don't care. You expect for something to be the case, but obviously it's not the case currently. Therefore, you have motivation to believe in the contrary. No, but I do agree with saying that there's a lack of expectations being met. Therefore, you can doubt everything. You're not doubting it. You're rejecting it. Chill. You're rejecting it. You're not doubting it. That's what you're doing. So I'm asking for the argument for the rejection. Asking for any motivation to doubt it being true. Doubting as skeptic. Give a point that actually justifies anything you're saying. Fuck.
The definition could just be wrong. That's pretty much irrelevant. And the reason why it's irrelevant is because I already stipulated that to be physical, just calm down. Like if it's not what you said, then you can explain when you're done. So I already stipulated that the definition of physical.
No, I'm just gonna clarify what I said real quick. I never said the definition can be wrong. I said if someone gives a definition of a ghost and then it meets the criteria of a concept, if from that concept you can say you can expect to see some phenomena, that phenomena isn't a part of the definition, but the phenomena can either one contradict the definition. Like for example, say that a ghost is non-physical and you should expect to be able to perceive the ghost. That's incorrect because you cannot perceive ghosts, but the ghost can still exist in that specific way. Yeah, so that's a contradiction because you're not. So the phenomena is contradictory towards the definition. The ghost can still exist in that way, but the phenomena is not occurring. Same as in this scenario, you're in the definition, but the phenomena requirements are not met. Which is like a phenomena. It does not entail that the definition exists. That just means the person who listed out the phenomena alongside the definition was lying. Person he's trying to motivate to believe in a possible ghost exists. retard. This is basic stuff. I don't understand how you're not.
Oh, sorry, I was just waiting to be unmuted. So, nice story, but as I was saying before I was interrupted, look, I already stipulated beforehand that to be physical is to be describable by the laws of physics. Just calm down, just let me finish this and then we can conclude for sure. So look, I already gave the by condition, right? The by condition here would be that if something is physical, or something is physical, if and only if it is describable by the laws of physics, okay? That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, now, but you're talking about. Yeah, I agree.
Just stop
Can we conclude? You're not concluding.
Just stop talking. Look, just stop talking. Okay, let me finish what I was saying. Okay. So I already stipulated this. Now you asked me to prove, right, that like lack of expectations or
you don't even know. You don't even know.
Just calm down. Just calm down. Okay.
You don't even know.
You asked me to prove, sorry, that the lack of expectations met in hypotheses gives us reason to doubt or reject the hypothesis, and it's pretty simple.
That's not what I asked you to prove, by the way. No, that's not what I asked you to prove. That's not what I asked you to prove. I never said justification for doubt.
Just stop talking.
I never said justification for doubt.
Just stop talking.
I never said justification for doubt.
Why is it that they moderate when I'm not even talking? When he overtalks me,
because I'm infinity in your seat.
Look,
because I'm infinity in your seat. Because I'm infinity in your seat. If it's
not what you said, then just don't speak over me. Okay?
No, I'm just going to speak over you to clarify what I said.
I'm just going to continue what I was saying. Okay?
Yeah, you can continue.
Right, we seem to know that when things are physical, they could be measured. That's what it means to describe. To measure something, to assign to its spatial coordinates, to assign to extension, length, width, to describe it fully in terms of naturalistic processes. That is what it means to describe something using the laws of physics. Now, with the mind, specifically with qualia, which is inherently first-person subjective, I don't think that we have the tools necessary to peer into
I agree.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking.
Begging me to stop talking.
Someone mute this guy. Someone mute the guy, bro.
You're not concluding anything.
He's afraid.
Hey, so Jack, did he explain how we have a lack of
argument?
I got affinity winning. He's losing. He is shit.
Look, just let me get the argument. Someone mute him while I get the argument. You want to conclude how you responded?
Yeah, we can conclude.
No, you want me to conclude how you responded?
He sounds like a bitch. He wants me to conclude.
Yeah, you want me to conclude how you responded? Look, all this rhetoric is not helping. The rhetoric isn't helping.
We can conclude.
Right, your tactic is very clear. Right, you just want me to conclude about responding so you can get the W, but it's not going to happen. So stop talking so I can respond.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. Yo, Sway, do you hear this?
Wait, do you respond to the argument?
Bro,
Can somebody mute this guy?
He's begging to speak so bad. He's begging to speak so bad. It's so shy. He's begging me. Hey, he's like, please stop talking to me. Like, what the fuck?
You're begging another grown man.
Someone mute these guys. Someone mute this guy.
This is embarrassing. So look, I'm gonna make it very clear once again. Look, he's gonna tell Sherman to mute me, by the way. I'm gonna make it very clear once again. You have yet to present the lack of tools of measurement. You have yet to justify why motivation towards having a lack of arguments or these specific tools due to our epistemizations is just been not justification for doubts. I agree, it can be a logical motivation to doubt something, but logical motivation to reject the thesis completely, I don't. So give the argument. That's the last time I'm repeating it. If you don't give the argument, then we're going to conclude and you all.
Woo.
So I don't really know how I'm expected to give an argument when he continues.
There's a lot of stuff you don't know. Can we conclude? I'm just gonna. So wait, do you just have the inability to talk while another man's talking?
I'm just gonna give the argument now, but I just want to make this clear.
You just have an inability to talk while another man is
impeding my ability to engage with the point, and if you're impeding my ability to engage with the point, that's a concession in your own right. So I'm just gonna try to give the argument. And if you keep speaking over me, right? I already gave the argument. If you want to keep speaking over me, I'm not allowing you to give the argument. Then seemingly, it seems if you don't even want to engage with the proposition. If you don't want to engage with the proposition,
how is that true? I already engaged.
Because you don't want to engage in the argument, right? In order to engage in the argument, you necessarily need someone to argue with.
That's not true, by the way. I can engage with my own.
You can argue for yourself. That's perfectly fine. So look, as I was saying, the argument is inductively when we look at physical things, for example, this cup, this table, etc., etc. These things. I'm just gonna turn this guy down. Hold on.
Yeah, you can turn me down. It doesn't turn down me. Like what the fuck? It doesn't turn down to everybody. Stupid. You turning me down doesn't turn me down to everybody else.
Shinra, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Just let me know if I'm audible.
Yeah, because Shinra's
give
gonna
the verification and then you can upload it. Hello, Shinra, am I audible?
You're audible.
Alright, cool. So, look, the response is pretty simple. So, inductively, this is an inductive case. When we look at physical things in front of us, they are measurable, like objectively. Like, I can measure, for example, the length and the width of my fucking cup. I can measure the volume of this bowl. I can measure the length of this wall. I have the ability to objectively measure the physical things in my experience. But we currently seem to lack this ability for qualia. And the reason why is because even if you present some sort of explanation of qualia, like, I don't know, C fibers fire off in your brain, the C fibers firing off in your brain doesn't actually tell us anything about the qualitative experience themselves. So there just isn't any, and I already gave an example of one, which is functionalism. Functionalism cannot account for qualia because it doesn't tell us anything about qualia itself. C fibers firing off in your brain, then pain, is not informative at all. It doesn't tell us anything about the nature of the qualia itself. Right? And that's the first explanatory framework I presented. I would go through more, but what would be easier is if Infinity presents an explanatory framework that does allow us to explain qualia in terms of the brain. Also, it seems if subjective experience cannot be, right, and the term is cannot be in terms of epistemically, cannot be accessed by other people, right? There's no for me to know how Infinity feels at this very moment in time.
Bro, do you see what he's yapping about Infinity?
All the emotions that Corin feels at this moment in time, because those are all subjective and first person inherently to him.
He's just talking to
right?
talk.
And so therefore,
this nigga
right,
is
those
rambling right now.
Those are just two good reasons to doubt the physicist hypotheses. Now I'm gonna turn him up again.
Anyways, everything you just said is just a question bag. We can conclude. You literally didn't respond to anything.
Yeah, you have to repeat that.
Yeah, let's conclude.
That's not what you said. You said it was a question bag. Can you show me how? Demonstrate it. Just demonstrate everything you said.
Question bag and a shotgun. You already lost, GG. That's 14 fouls.
I just see how I shotgun you. Just demonstrate how I question bag. Go ahead. Demonstrate how I question bag.
Just conclude.
Can you just demonstrate how I question bag? Okay, so clearly he can't demonstrate how I question begged. But look, I'll just conclude then.
No, he's lagging, so he can't answer on us. So you're gonna have to give him a minute.
Okay, yeah, I'll give him a minute.
Hey, I have to go, but yeah, it is a shot.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
It's the question back. Can y'all please meet him? Sway, can you please meet him?
Of course.
Yeah.
Bro.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. So it's a shotgun. It's a question bag. You didn't justify anything. All you did was go circular. What's in question is whether or not we have a lack of a method. What's in question is whether or not we don't have an account for qualia. All you did was repeat yourself 20,000 times. And then even if I do grant that they aren't an account for qualia and we don't have a current method, you have yet to justify why a lack or why we have grounded epistemic limitations, and then we use that as a logical motivation for rejection instead of doubt. So yes, I just repeated myself. We can conclude.
Okay, so yeah, in conclusion for me,
okay, so
I open up this debate.
Let me
yeah, just to be clear, I just want some sort of
that's
respect.
fine. You can be very clear to the people that you're talking to. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Batu, has he ever won?
I don't think he's ever
I have
won.
never been present.
I've never seen he win.
I think he loses the blade unironically. Wow.
Yeah, so look, am I going to be able to conclude here, or is this going to be like
no?
No.
No.
Okay, that's fine then. Where's General?
Who's moaning in my ear? Can you not do that? Yo, dude, yo, guys. I know that was Mick from his mic.
Shut your bitch ass up.
I don't know who you think you're talking to.
I'm talking to you, nigga.
And you're bent.
He talking to you, nigga. I'm gonna go fucking fast. I don't know who you think he is. Bro, like, do you see how dumb he is, bro? Like, is it just me?